feel great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of invasion.
Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. It's your boy Jim Hacking coming to you live on Monday, the 7th of October. This is our 685th episode of the Immigration Answer Show. How's everybody doing? What's going on? I got my jacket on. I got to learn how the news anchors make themselves look tight. How's everybody doing? How was your weekend? Did you have a good weekend? I had a good weekend, just way too much activity. On Friday, we went to see Back to the Future, the musical, and the special effects were cool, but man, the singing was terrible. The music was terrible. It was all really bad. Rich says I look like an immigration officer today. Rich, I hope you're safe from the hurricane. I hope all is well with you, my friend. We got Tampa in the house all over. Everybody down in Florida, be ready. Another hurricane's coming. I just can't believe it. Carolina's here. Hello, Carolina. I'll be here for the next hour trying to answer all of your immigration law-related questions. Come on into the waiting room. The water's nice and crisp. It'll wake you up and we'll get you going. I have an interesting day today. We're going to court trying to help an immigrant today, so we'll see what happens. That's sort of why I'm wearing my suit. What else is going on? We went to see STL City soccer team won 3-0 over Houston. It was fun. There was one guy on the other team that got a red card, and before he did, he had a yellow card, and everybody was yelling at him. So when he got the red card, the whole place went crazy. It was a lot of fun. And then yesterday, the Jets got their brains beat in. They looked terrible against the Vikings. They're just not a good team. They're a very undisciplined team, so I had to get up at 8:30 to watch the Jets lose. All right, that's enough about that. Let's go ahead and talk to Priyanka. Hello, Priyanka.
Hello, Jim.
How you doing?
Hello, Jim. Doing great. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time today.
Sure.
So I'm actually I'm an American. Sorry, I'm an Indian citizen, and my husband is an American citizen. I came to America through K-1 visa, and I got my adjustment of status. I got my green card, but I'm working in a different state, and my husband is working in another state. So I will be going on 21st of August to meet my husband. Sorry, 21st of October to meet my husband, because it's been almost 2 months that we did not meet. So will that be a problem with immigration USCIS when we apply for adjustment of status for 10-year green card?
So, for me, there's always three questions when a couple lives apart. Number one is, do we have a real business reason or economic reason why we're doing it, and can we demonstrate that? Two, documenting all the time that we spend together when we're apart. Like if I go there, they come here, you got to document all that. And three, what's the long-term plan for being together? Because if USCIS thinks that this is how it's going to be forever, then they're going to hold it to a little bit more scrutiny, I think.
Yeah, that means my husband is looking for jobs here in Michigan, but he's not finding any. So this is not.
I would document all that.
Yeah.
Keep a folder, all of his efforts to try to find a job in Michigan. Do that.
Yeah, and also we are having a car deed together here in Michigan, because he got me a car before he left to Alabama, and we are on the same renters.
That's marriage evidence. I'm assuming you have marriage evidence. We're past that. What I'm talking about is, how do we prove that you go to see each other, and how often will you see each other?
We are planning on October 21st. I will be going to Alabama, and then we will be meeting for Thanksgiving in November, and then
like once a month.
November.
I'm saying, but just moving forward, how often are you going to see each other? About once a month?
Once a month.
Yeah, so just document all that. So when you file your 751, you're going to have to show that. Now, you might think that you can apply for the citizenship after the 3-year rule, but my understanding is USCIS won't let you apply on the 3-year rule anymore if you aren't actually living together. Even if the marriage is 100% legit, if you're not living together as spouses, then you have to wait 5 years.
Okay. We could do that. So what is the processing times for I-751, which is a removal of conditions on the green card right now? What are the processing times that we are looking?
2 years and 2 months.
Oh, okay. Because we need to apply in 2026, but I'm just thinking ahead. So what to expect?
So the way it works right now is when you apply, they send you an extension, a receipt and an extension letter. And incredibly, it's for 4 years. So you would have your old green card, your Indian passport, and your 751 extension letter, and that's how you would travel.
So can I travel outside the United States with that extension letter? Okay. And my work, I'm actually working in a pharmaceutical company here in America, but my work needs me to travel to Sweden for working and training purposes. Is it possible for me to travel outside the United States with my conditional green card?
Sure.
Okay. That is it, Jim. Thank you so much.
Bye, Priyanka. Take care. Have a
Yep.
good day. All right. She had lots of good questions. We knocked those out. Let's go to Big Daddy. Hello, Big Daddy.
Hey, Jim, can you hear me?
It's a little garbled, but yeah, I can. How you doing?
I'm great. So, remember I called you, I think, a couple of days ago about my I-751 and 400 combo interview.
Yep.
So can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Jim, you there?
I'm here. Go ahead.
Hello?
All right. Suman is here. Hi, Suman.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you so much. My question is regarding about the I-130 petitions that I filed when I had a green card and in 2022 January. Then after recently, I became the citizens in 2024 June. And I did upload my petition to the immediate relatives. And I'm just wondering, how long should I wait? Because I'm just tired of, waiting long and long. That's the question I have right now, sir.
So where are you inside the United States right now?
Yeah, I'm inside the United States.
And when did you come to the United States?
I came in 2019. And then after, yep.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I came in 2019. Then after, through the diversity visa. Then after, I filed petitions I-130 to my spouse in 2022 June. And I became the citizens in the last June. And when I just log in my account in USCIS, it was displaying like 5 weeks until the case decision time left. But now it went up 5 months. And I'm just wondering, how long should I wait to get the decision in my I-130 petition?
What's the receipt date on the I-130?
It's 2022 January 4, I think so.
And it's still at USCIS?
Yep. It's still saying, it's still reviewing, actively reviewing.
When did you become a citizen?
June 6, 2024.
And after you became a citizen, did you notify USCIS on your wife's case that you were a citizen?
Yeah, I made a call over the phone. Then after, they told me that I don't have to send any kind of copy. They just did over the phone.
Okay, so you haven't documented it in any way. You didn't send them a copy of your naturalization certificate or anything.
Yeah, they told me that unless the USCIS asks, don't send anything. They told me that.
Okay. Well, I usually notify them in writing so that I have proof that I told them that. But your case has been waiting for over 2.5 years.
Yep.
So you might want to sue them because they might not know or understand that you're a green card holder. But what I would try first thing I would do is I would send them a letter and say, hey, it's me, Suman. Here's the receipt notice on the I-130 that I filed for my wife back in January of 2022, and give them the receipt notice. And then say, when I filed, I had a green card, but now I'm a U.S. citizen. See a copy of my naturalization certificate. Please classify her as an immediate relative so that I can get this case approved and onto the National Visa Center. Otherwise, I'm going to hire Jim and we're going to sue you.
Then after a couple of weeks, sir, I called them on the June 7, 2024. Then after I again called them in June 24, and they told me that your petition is upgraded. You don't have to do anything. That's all. They told me that.
Okay, well then I think you need to sue them, because otherwise this should be approved a long time ago.
Yeah, and then after I placed the service inquiry like 1.5 months ago, but I didn't receive any kind of like appropriate answer. They just told me that we're just working hard diligently to approve your give your decisions. That's all they told me.
Okay, well the only thing I know, Suman, that works is suing them. Everything else, calling them, none of that stuff works.
And one last question, sir. What if I take the help from some congressman, senator? Does it really work?
No, very rarely. It might work. Try it. I mean, I'm all for trying whatever you want, but if you don't get anything going, go ahead and call us and we can sue them. Thanks, Sunan.
Okay.
Bye, buddy. Yep. Either my reception or his reception wasn't so great. Thank you, Suman, for the call. All right. Brandy's here. Hi, Brandy.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'll be better after this phone call.
Okay, well, let's hear it.
So my husband and I got married last May. We did his application, submitted everything this March. He's done his biometrics appointment, everything. And we now have a family emergency with our son, his biological son, my bonus baby. And no one's helping him in Kenya. So he's like in a position now where he has to go home because something really bad could happen to Keegan. And it's already kind of happening. And so he needs to leave to see about his son and also get his son help because no one is helping him. So we're kind of like, what do we do? I was told that there's a form that you can fill out. It's like a $500 fee, and it's basically like a permission slip to leave this one time while you're in the waiting process. Is that a thing, or is that like a myth?
So, no. So when did he file for the green card?
We filed in the receipt says in March
of 24.
Yes, sir.
And when you filed in March of 24, he did not file for advanced parole. That's the permission slip.
We did all the things, advanced parole, his work authorization. We did all the things, that we also applied for the children to come to the States as well. Sure. So we did everything in one big swoop. Sure.
So you have a receipt notice for the advanced parole, but you haven't received advanced parole, right?
No, we've received nothing. And okay. I called this morning and they said that we have 11 months to wait. We're still within the window to wait. And we're like, but this is an emergency. And they basically told us, well, we have to have documentation of the emergency before we can give him an emergency exit, to travel documents.
Yeah. So advanced parole is a ticket. So the good thing is you have that on file. So yeah, you're going to have to prove it up. I mean, everybody and his brother is asking for everything to be expedited. So I don't know if they're going to expedite it. They probably won't. They usually don't. They're very sort of insensitive to that. Like we've had all kinds of cases, dying of cancer. My wife is having a baby. These are all the kinds of reasons that they ignore and don't give expedite. But you've done everything you're supposed to do. Basically, what you want them to do is to expedite the I-131 that you have on file. That's what you need to do. So you need to send them proof. You need to convince them that it's a true emergency and that only he can go.
Okay. So So because here's the kicker, he already bought his ticket to go home to Kenya. So I guess we're concerned about if he can come back to Kenya, because otherwise I'm gonna have to move to Kenya.
His green card case will be, if he leaves without advance parole, his green card case is abandoned. So all that money you spent, all this time you spent waiting, the only thing that would remain pending is the I-130. But it would be a huge mess, right? Because right now they think he's going to get his green card in the United States. He'd be stuck outside the United States probably for 2 years. I mean, everybody complains all the time. Here, look right here. The embassy in Kenya has long wait times, 18 to 24 months once you get documentally qualified. So you're a year and a half away from getting so he'd be out of the country probably for about 4 years if he leaves. And
Okay.
there's one other thing. When you married him and you filed back in March of 2024, was he in status or was he out of status?
So I'm a little confused because I just saw his visa paperwork and it says it expired in August of 2024. And we got married last May. So
when did he enter?
He entered. Honestly, I can't remember. I think when we got married, I feel like he had just been out of status like a month, I think, after we got married, before we filed his adjustment stuff. Well, after we got married. So then he was out of status for a month, I want to say, because he should have went back to Kenya, but we got married.
Yeah.
And then we filed all his paperwork and filed it in March of 24.
I mean, based what I know about everybody complaining about Kenya, it's one of the slowest embassies right now. So I think it's a really big mistake for him to leave until he gets advanced parole. I would instead just keep bothering USCIS trying to expedite it at least before he goes. He never ever should have bought his plane ticket.
Okay, so if he leaves, basically what you're saying, we will have to start from ground zero, and the process to get him back in the United States will be about 4 years.
Yep. And it's going to be expensive because you're going to have to get them, right? Think of it this way. Right now, his case is pointing towards your hometown, to your home address. And you've got it's like a ship, like the Titanic. You got to get it to point to Kenya. So it's a lot of effort and rigmarole to get them to do that. So I think from an immigration standpoint, it makes no sense to leave. I understand he's got real life stuff and all that. But from an immigration standpoint, it'd be a huge mistake to leave.
Okay. And so let me ask this secondary question. So if that were the case, because I mean the situation is pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any talking him out of it. If I moved to Kenya, what would that process be like if I started the process from Kenya as a citizen?
Same thing. So whenever you do a marriage case, there's one piece that's the same, whether the person's overseas or here. If it's the I-130, I'm Brandy, I'm a U.S. citizen, I want to sponsor my husband for an immigrant petition. And you need that whether he's here getting a green card or if he's in Kenya and you're consular processing, right? So the 485 that you filed, the advanced parole, and the work card, all that would go in the trash because he doesn't need those anymore because he's not in the United States.
Right.
So, and what I mean is, it takes about 14 months for an I-130 to get approved. So you could go to Kenya and deal with all that there and be with him. But then once that happens, then you have to file this really crappy form. It's called an I-821. And the I-821 is to get them to pay attention to the fact that before we told you that he was going to adjust his status here in our hometown. But guess what? Now he's in Kenya. So now we need you to send that case not to our home office, but rather to the State Department. So then we get it to the State Department. So that could take a year. Then once the National Visa Center processes it, that's going to take 7 or 8 months. Then we have to wait for Kenya to say it's time for his interview. And what people are telling me week after week is from that point, it's 18 to 24 months.
Wow.
Yeah, it sucks.
Okay. So basically, to summarize what you're saying, either take the chance and go and throw all the money down the drain and start over again, and me be there with him trying to figure it all out, or him wait and just pray that everything works out with our son.
Right. And James is right. I said IA-21. It's IA-24. I've been working on DACA stuff, James. So thank you for that. It's IA-24. But yeah, that's basically the truth. What you just said is the truth. And then the one last thing you have to think about, you have to really nail down, is you need to know his date of entry. You need to know when he filed for his green card, because if he has been here for like over a year, then he has a 10-year bar once he leaves on coming back. And if he's out of status for 6 months, then it's a 3-year bar. So you need to nail all that down, okay?
Okay.
Good luck, Brandy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Got it. All right. Yeah, that's a tricky situation when people marry a U.S. citizen, but they're out of status, or they might have to leave. In the old days, we actually had clients come and go without advance parole and still get their green card approved. But that hasn't been true since we were in the old office. So that was probably 10 years ago. Yeah, Manu raises one other good point. This is all if Trump is not coming back. So if Trump does come back, then the embassies are going to be totally slowed down, or if not, non-existent. All right. Let's go to Tony. Tony, are you there? Hi, Tony. Are you driving?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. Are you driving?
No, I'm not.
Okay. What's up?
So I'm a USCIS.
We lost Tony. All right. Let's go to Budiana. Budiana, are you there?
Yeah, hi Jim. I hope you don't mind me not showing my face.
No worries. I got you off camera.
First of all, many thanks for everything that you do for the immigrant community. It means a lot to us. And,
Sure.
I mean, it's my third time here, and you're always helpful. This time, a very specific question. It's regarding I-140 that I filed May 31st, but I got twice a rejection notice. The same reason being incorrect amount of fee. But I don't get it because I'm looking at the form G1055, right? And I'm so confused because a few days ago, I got the second rejection notice with the same reason saying it's the wrong, the amount of fee. So the first time it was 715. And then the second time I fixed it, adding there's an additional fee, right? If you're doing as a self-petitioner, I'm adding 300 and it brings me to $1,015. But it's incorrect, and I'm so confused. I was just wondering if you have any idea what's going on.
We've been having since the fees went up on I-140s and everything on April 1st, but specifically for employment stuff, USCIS is a mess right now. They've sent us back packets that they never should have sent back twice. So I would go over it all again and send it back in one more time with a big letter explaining why you're right. You got to like walk them through it like they're 5 years old. The one thing, if you want, you can email me and I'll pass it along to Andrew because he's in our office and he handled those and he got them receipted. So if you want to, I can tell you, I can let you know whatever he knows, or I can just ask him and talk about it tomorrow on the show.
Wow. Oh, I'd really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You got it.
Okay.
All right. Budiana. That was Budiana. All right. So I want to talk about something. I'm sure it's not any of you guys watching this show, but we have been getting some really rude ass bastards calling our office. And they're saying mean and nasty things about all these people coming across the border. I'm trying to do it the right way. We're trying to do it the right. Biden's letting everybody come in and get their citizenship and government benefits tomorrow. All these damn Venezuelans coming across. That's what they're saying to my team members who, guess what? They're from Venezuela, you assholes. So knock it off. I'm going to have a meeting with Intake tomorrow. We sent somebody a link to schedule. They reached out to us. We get back to them and they write back, fuck you. What is wrong with people? What is wrong with people? We don't put up with any of that at our office. if I get a whiff that you're any kind of racist or saying anti-immigrant things, you will never, ever be represented by this firm. And I don't care if your naturalization interview is tomorrow. I don't care how far along you are in the process. I will fire you. Nobody talks to my people like that. Nobody talks to my people like that. I will not stand for it. And I'm sick and tired of it. You know what else I'm sick and tired of? The other day, Nora was driving her car. I was riding, Nora's getting her permit. We drove over the bridge by our house. There were 10 people in Nazi gear. 10 people in Nazi gear a mile from my house, protesting over the bridge, talking about how great it is to be a Nazi. It's really, really terrible. And I'm really, really sick of it. And this is all the part of the Republican Party for putting forth Donald Trump and not shutting him down years ago. It's the Republican Party who's in bed with Nazis. It's the Republican Party who's in with insurrectionists. You don't see Democrats hanging out with Nazis. I'm sick and tired of it. People are crazy. Christine is right. People are crazy. And then we got this guy. Listen to this. Let me play it for you. Hold on. This is Donald Trump being interviewed.
She wants to go into government housing. She wants to go into government feeding. She wants to feed people. She wants to feed people governmentally. She wants to go into a communist party type system. When you look at the things that she proposes, they're so far off. She has no clue. How about allowing people to come to an open border, 13,000 of which were murderers? Many of them murdered far more than one person, and they're now happily living in the United States. You know, now a murderer, I believe this, it's in their genes, and we got a lot of bad genes in our country right now. They had 400.
We've got a lot of bad genes in our country. Do you know who else said that? Do you know who else complained about bad genes in our country? His name was Adolf Hitler. So when Republicans get mad for Democrats for mentioning the fact that the Republican Party is hanging out with Nazis, that is endorsing racism and talking about bad genes, the people that are supporting this guy, they're not going away. Even if Trump loses, they're not going away. There's 40% of the people in America who think it's okay to talk like that. And this is the same stuff I was saying when he was a candidate. When he came down in 2016 or 2015 and said he was running for president, and he started it in on Mexicans being rapists, back then, I was talking about this. I've been consistent for the last 8 years talking about this horrible, horrible man who's running for president. And I'm appalled that 40% of the people think that all the things that he's done, he gets a pass on because he's going to lower taxes for rich people, because he's sticking it to the libs. It's absolutely appalling. It's absolutely appalling. He has unleashed such levels of hate that this country hasn't seen in a very, very long time, since World War II, I think, or the Civil Rights Movement. It's terrible. It's terrible what they are doing to this country. All right, let's go back, see if Big Daddy's got his reception going. Big Daddy, you okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it sounds much better. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I had a bad reception. All right, Jimmy, I remember I called you, I believe, a couple of days ago concerning my combo interview for I-751 and 400. My interview is supposed to be next week. And on Saturday, I received 2 notifications saying an action has been taken on your case. But when I logged in, I didn't see nothing. So I was going crazy, wondering, like, what could it be? So there was nobody I could talk to or anything. So on Sunday, which was yesterday, I received the same notification again, and I logged in only for me to find out that my I-751 was approved. say CAD is being produced.
Nice.
Yeah. So
That's
now my
great.
question is, if I go for the N400, would they still do the I-75 or just the N400?
I'd say you got to be ready for anything, brother. Be ready for anything. Bring marriage evidence, bring your spouse. Hopefully they just sit in the car or sit in the lobby. But I would definitely act as if, I mean, unless you have your green card in your hand before the naturalization, unless you have that green card, I would assume that nothing's done.
Sounds good. Okay. All right. Just wanted to, give you the update.
I'm glad, Big Daddy. That's good news.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
You got it. All right. All right. Hey, if you have a question for me, come on into the waiting room. There's plenty of room in the green room. Cooley's talking to the camera. Hopefully she's not mad at me. I'm going to be here for the next half hour trying to answer all your immigration law related questions. We're at the 30-minute mark. I am Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer extraordinaire, practicing law out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. And we help people all around the world, all around the United States, because immigration is federal. So if you want to help us out, want to leave us a quick 5-star review, we'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps other people find out about us and how we can help. And we really like working on immigration cases. All we do is immigration. The majority of what we do within immigration is either sue USCIS, citizenship, green cards, keeping spouses here, national interest waivers, all that good stuff. All that good stuff. All right. Let's go to Moaz. Moaz?
Yeah, hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
How are you, sir? First of all, I like what you're doing, and I used to watch your show a lot, and thank you for that.
Sure.
So I have two questions actually. So the first question that I would like to ask is, I came to the U.S. in a visitor visa, okay?
Okay.
And so I met an old friend that we have worked together a long time ago, and so we just got married, and so I want to so I would like to ask, what is the best way to start about this?
When did you enter and when did you get married?
I entered to the U.S. That was April 19, 2024. And then we get married in July.
Okay. So more than 60 days after you arrived.
Not more than 60 days.
So April, May, June. You said you got married you said you came in April, but you got married in July. That would be more than 60 days, right?
Okay, sorry. We got married in May.
May. So you entered in April and got married in May.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big problem, my brother. You're not supposed to get married when you enter on a visit visa. You're not supposed to get married in the first 60 days.
Okay. So what's the? I don't know how to go about this right now.
So when you went to the embassy and applied for, have you come to the United States before on that visit visa, or was this your first visit?
Sorry, I didn't mention that. I came also last year, July. So this is my second time to the U.S.
All on one visa? It was a multiple entry visa?
No, it's just one time visa. So the first one I get interviewed, I get the visa, and then they only gave me for 6 months. So I spent only 2 weeks, and then I returned back to my country. And then, so my second chance also to come for a workshop, I came. That was this year.
Okay, and so did you actually go to the workshop?
Yes, I did in Miami. Yes.
Okay, and the person that you married, were you talking to them on your last visit when you came, or when did you start talking to them again? Like, when did you reconnect?
I started talking to them when I first came to the U.S. That was last year.
Last year, okay. So here's the problem.
Yes.
When you get a non-immigrant visa, like a visit visa to the United States, when you do that, you're not supposed to come and get married. You're supposed to come and visit and then go back home.
Okay.
So, were you planning on trying to stay here the whole time, or are you like going back?
No. I wasn't planning to come and stay here.
But I mean, now, what's your plan now?
Yeah, I am. Yes, I am planning to stay here now.
Okay. So I think you probably need help, Moez. You should email us. I don't think you should file this case on your own because they're not going to like the fact that you got married and stayed. You might want to go back home and do it through the consulate just because that 60-day rule can really get you in trouble.
All right.
I'm not saying for sure, but we need to talk to you and your spouse and be very careful with how we proceed.
All right. Okay.
So send us an email. We'll go from there, okay?
Sure. And then my last question is, can I still also apply for the DV lottery now?
Well, you can, but if you're married to a U.S. citizen, that would be silly because that takes a lot longer.
All right. Thank you very much.
Bye, Moez. See you, buddy. All right, Gabriella's here. Hello, Gabriella. All right, let's see what Melvin's got to say. Hi, Melvin.
Hey Jim, I have a question. Application for I-360, the time is getting longer and longer. So
Right.
I already asked you before when is gonna be a good time to sue them. I know you say 3 years. You still think that's the best time?
Yep.
Okay. And also have a different question. I got a case that I was closed 11 years ago because I was not a priority. I'm trying to open that case because of the BAWA that I have, so I can close it permanently. Because if my BAWA is approved, um, before I do my change of status, I need to close that case. That's correct, right?
In order to adjust, you'd have to terminate the case. That's right.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Bye, Melvin. See you, buddy. All right. Enow is here. Hi, Enow.
Hey, Jim, I'm really glad to get this opportunity. Thanks for having me. My first question is about 12 years ago, I had a non-immigrant visa to travel to the US. Rights work off campus, and then I was deported. I was doing the 10-year bar, and my 10-year bar is over. I had a fully funded program to do a PhD in mechanical engineering.
I'm having a hard time hearing you. I'm sorry.
Okay, can you hear me now? Is it better now?
Yeah, can you turn off your camera and maybe hold the phone up by your mouth?
Okay, I'm actually on my PC.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just sit closer.
Okay, is it better now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's
Can
better.
you hear now?
Yep.
Okay. I'm saying that I had an F1 visa about 12 years ago,
Okay.
and during my F1 stay in Warrensburg, Missouri, I violated the terms of my visa. I was engaged in unauthorized work,
Okay.
and I claimed to be a U.S. citizen during my unauthorized work. After about 2.5 years, I got removed. I was deported, and I was given a 10-year bar according to the paper I got. So my 10-year bar was over, and then I applied for another school for an F1 visa, non-immigrant visa, and I got a fully funded program to do a PhD. So I was going to return back to the US on a non-immigrant visa, but then I kind of get this intuition that I'm not eligible. I have a permanent bar. I don't know if that's true because I declared myself to be a US citizen when I was engaged in unauthorized work. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Or is it something you can help?
No, it's a deportable offense. I don't think you're good there. If you made a false claim to U.S. citizenship, I mean, just the fact that you worked without permission on a non-immigrant visa, plus asking to say you're a citizen, I don't think they're going to let you come back to the United States.
So there's no way you can help me on my case. It's not even possible.
No.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for the information.
Good luck. Yep. Thanks. Yep. Sorry about that. We don't help with non-immigrant visas anyway. You might try, but I think it's very unlikely they're going to let you come back. They don't like it when people don't follow the rules, and they really don't like it when they don't follow the rules and say they're a citizen. Lisa is here. Hello, Lisa.
Hi, Jim.
Hi.
I'm gonna be off camera because my case is kind of
Oh, you already are off camera. I got you off camera.
yeah, but I'm gonna close it. Yeah. Hi. I applied for citizenship in April this year.
Great.
Finally got my interview scheduled for October 1st, to which
Okay.
I went. I studied hard. I went with a lawyer because I had 3 offenses that I committed 20 years ago, and I was well prepared, well advised by the lawyer. And you have to tell the truth above all things, in this type of interviews. And the officer was very nice, actually. He had a good attitude, but then, he very weirdly went from being nice to. So what happened to these 2 interviews? He was referring to 2 interviews that I did apply back in the day, one in 2002 and the other one in 2003, for which I never received any communication from USCIS. Never, never. Later on, I discovered that a family member got the letters in their hands and destroyed them because it was not convenience for them that I became a citizen back in the day, because they were in the process of becoming a citizen as well. And if I went to my appointment, well, this is my deduction. Maybe I should not talk about this because this is, a rabbit hole that I went through, and it's not worth it to discuss it now. But anyways, so the officer asked me what happened to these interviews, and I said, "Officer, yes, I applied, and I never received any interview letters from USCIS. And but why? Your signature is here," he says. He showed me the applications, and somebody signed on my behalf for going to these interviews.
Signed a letter saying you weren't coming, or what?
No, sign on the on the naturalization application, the M400. So they sign on them on the section that you should be signing when you signature at interview and signature at oath. So I was like, I thought that I was in one of these Hitchcock movies, like Alfred Hitchcock's.
Yeah.
Like I'm in a twilight zone right now.
Right.
I never attended any of these interviews, and the officer is showing me these applications, my applications that I filled out, that indeed had my signatures. I panicked at that moment, and my lawyer, who was behind me, said, "But my client never came. That's not your signature." He asked me, "Did you come?" "No." "Did you come?" "No." "Did you attend?" "No, no." I doubled down in my answer. I said, "No, no, no, no. I never attended," to the point that the officer told me, "Calm down, calm down." And he
Okay.
started talking about something about Chapa, Chapa. And I said, "What? Is that the Mexican drug lord?" And he goes, "Calm down." They were talking about a lawyer that I hired like a few years later to give me legal advice, to help me appeal for these 2 applications that I never received. And then what I remember vaguely, because I'm going to have a conversation with this other lawyer on Friday, is that he said that USCIS dropped your cases because it's been a long time. It's been 4 years. This was in 2007. So the officer, from asking me about these weird questions and these accusations of me going there, went, "Do you support the Constitution? Are you willing to bear arms?" So these
Yeah.
are the final questions of the application. I say, "Yes, officer, yes." And then he remains quiet for a moment. He printed a sheet of paper and said, "You passed the English test, the civics, and the state test."
Right.
And then he checked that we cannot make a decision at this point, at this moment. So you
Okay.
need to come back for a second appointment. And what he told us, me and my lawyer, was that I was going to be called for a second interview, and I needed to sign a sworn affidavit saying that it was not me. And I said, "Was that an imposter?" And he goes, calm down, he kept on saying. I was like getting bent out of shape, to tell you the truth, Jim, because this is something like weird. Weird. It's beyond weird for me, you
Really
know?
not weird for me.
Is it not?
So let me ask a couple questions.
Uh-huh.
When did you get your green card?
I got my green card in 1997,
Okay.
many years ago, 98. Mm-hmm.
And before you went to this interview on October 1st,
Mm-hmm.
in your mind, how many times had you applied for citizenship? Just this one time?
Back in the day, twice, 2002 and 2003. And now, 2024.
Okay.
3 times so far.
So the questions that he was asking you about were about applications that you had in fact filed, like that you had really filed them.
Exactly. Yes, I have filed them. 2002 and 2003, and then 2024. Right.
Did you go to an interview in 2002?
Nope.
Did you go to an interview in 2003?
No. And the thing is that how could I possibly go if I never receive an interview letter? And this
Well,
was in the back.
we'll get to that in a minute. I'm trying to understand the facts.
Right.
So okay, and then what you're telling me is you never received a notice, a denial or approval on the 2002 case or the 2003 case, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I'm going to push back a little bit on that just to ask, why would you apply in 2003 if you never found out what happened in 2002? I've had people do that before, but why did you do that?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a question that my other attorney is asking me. And I said, I was in the process of getting a divorce and I was trying to save my marriage. In that process, I was getting separated. And in that process, my marriage fell apart. And I said, okay, I'm going to rewind and I'm going to reapply next year when I'm already divorced. So I divorced in
On the
2002.
On the 5-year rule. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I was going to apply on the 5-year rule. Uh-huh.
Okay. Was the marriage that was falling apart the marriage that also served as the basis for your green card?
Correct. Yes.
And so did this USCIS officer on October 1st make it seem like somebody had shown up at the interview and testing like twice?
Yes. Yes.
And what, failed the test, or did they give you an indication of what happened?
Yeah. I have the FOIA there,
Oh, you have
and
FOIA.
I had a FOIA, and the FOIA, check this out, had only my 2 applications. It was not a FOIA that would tell me, okay, you failed your test in 2002 or you failed your application in 2003. It was the 2 applications. And then I asked them, so why was I denied back then? I cannot tell you because you said you were not here.
Yeah.
And
Tell me about the FOIA. What did you ask for in the FOIA?
yeah, in the beginning, I asked for my 2 applications from these years. But then my other attorney said, Janina, ask for your full FOIA, which I did. When I asked for the full FOIA, USCIS came back to me saying that what they sent me before is what they have. And that's it. And if I wanted to pursue for more documents, I needed to go to a different instance. And I said, oh my gosh, this is too much.
It's not. You got to get that. You got to figure out what happened. You can't go into a second interview with them. I mean, it sounds like they're trying to help you. Like sometimes people get really freaked out when they say they want you to give a sworn statement, but sometimes that's so that they can get past something.
Right.
So it's not the worst thing in the world, but man, if it were me, I would think long and hard about withdrawing this naturalization application, getting everything out of my N-400 and FOIA wise, and then reapplying when I feel like I'm on solid ground. Right now, I don't feel like you are on solid ground, and I don't want you to go to a place where you're going to be put under oath and asked questions by a federal officer.
So it's going to be a federal officer for the next.
I think it's possible that your spouse had some other woman go there and act like it was you and keep flunking so that you didn't get your citizenship.
Yeah, my husband was weird, but I don't think I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know.
It's bizarre. I've never heard a story like this before.
Yeah.
But like I said, I would not go back to an interview if I didn't feel like I knew everything that happened.
Yeah, exactly. That's why my new attorney, Attorney Kelly, she said, Janina, we have to get the FOIA, the full history of your case.
I agree.
If your next appointment comes, I will come with you.
Actually, you know what? You know what is the way it has been explained to me is that the one thing you don't want to do when your naturalization case is pending is file a FOIA, because no matter where it is, it pulls it out of the office and it makes them go do FOIA. So maybe do FOIA quickly, get it on, just say, I want all immigration documents with my name on it or something very broad.
They're going to do it, my lawyer.
Good.
They're going to do it for me on my behalf.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll do it. And hopefully my second appointment comes afterwards, after I get my full history with USCIS, my FOIA.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm saying if I were your lawyer and it didn't come before, I wouldn't go, I would withdraw the N-400. It's only $700 to reapply.
Yeah. But can I just tell them that I should reschedule and wait for the FOIA?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah. Yeah, I have that chance too. I will not go without the FOIA for sure.
Good luck. Keep me
your
posted.
advice?
Let me know what happens. I'm very interested.
Yeah, that's what my attorney said. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow. We hear some crazy crap on this show, but that was something. It does feel like Twilight Zone. Like, so she knew that she applied before. She thought that decisions were never rendered. Maybe the lawyer, I don't know. It's just bizarre. It's something very, very strange. Yeah, definitely caller of the day, Tony. You're right about that. Mike is here. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Jim. Thanks for taking the call.
Sure.
I'm intending to marry a Ukrainian immigrant. She has a B1, B2, and our intent has been she comes over to work as well. So the intent has been for her to come over on a B1, B2. We get married, but then she goes back, and I would subsequently file, I think, the CR1. And so we're prepared for that whole case. And I'm wondering if that's the best case scenario in this case. I understand that she comes over in B1, B2, she can't stay, with the intent of staying that way. So that's why the CR1 was what I figured may be the best bet in this.
Yeah, I mean, still, you should know they don't like it when you come over and get married and still go back home. They generally, they'll look at that sort of hard. Why did she say she was coming? How soon after she arrived did she get married? It's better. It's certainly better than getting married and applying here and having that intent.
Now she's had this visa for it's a 10-year visa that she's got. So she's got 2 years left. She's over here. Well, she comes back and forth. She brings other Ukrainians over to do workshops and stuff like that. So she's got a long history of coming in and out of the country over the past.
That makes me feel better.
10, 12 years. I mean, we've got, I went back and looked at her, her background of coming back and forth with the passport. So that's one argument of like, she's had this case, she's had this visa for years, and it's never been a case of her wanting to stay. I've also known her for 10 years.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the backstory. My wife passed away, so we kind of re-engaged, and so we're
sure.
I'm wanting to pursue something on that. So that's kind of my intent. I thought the timeline, we're engaged. I was thinking that if she came over in like January, we could go ahead and get married, and I could get all the marriage paperwork going. And then she needs to go back at the end of February, and that she would be there for a couple of months and then come back. So she's looking at coming back and forth, come here for a couple of months, go back, come back every couple of months or so, just so we can see each other. But obviously, I'm very well schooled about the B1, B2 legality.
She needs to understand that once she marries a U.S. citizen, it might be harder for her to come back often until she actually gets her green card, right? So at that point, she's the spouse of a U.S. citizen, and if you file an I-130 petition for her, they're going to think that on her next visit, she's coming to jump the line. So that's going to be a problem, I think.
Is there a better alternative? Or
Well, I mean, you really only have three. You could do a fiance case, you could do what you just talked about, or you could get married when she's here and then apply for her to stay. But if she needs to come and go, it's going to take 6 months or 8 months, and she's going to
Yeah.
be stuck here.
I looked at a K1. I mean, what a K1 if we did, well, K1's a fiance visa. I thought about doing that, but she's already got a visa to come over. So it just seemed like it was a little redundant to get a K1 when she's already got a B1, B2. But would it be better to get a K1?
That would clean up a lot of stuff and keep you from getting in any kind of trouble, and it might be the right thing. But at the end of the day, if she gets a K1 and comes to the United States and marries you and you apply for a green card, she's going to be stuck in the United States for about 8 months waiting for her advanced parole or the green card to come.
Okay.
Thanks, Mike. Oh,
Right.
thanks, Mike. See you, buddy. Yep. All right. That'll do it for today's show. I got to go say bye to Amani before she leaves. I hope you all have a great day. Thanks, everybody, for the good calls. And I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Yeah, tomorrow at 10. This week's really a crazy week for me. I'm not going to have a bunch of shows this week, probably only 3. Donna, I'm sorry about Ryan's wife not wanting to come. I hope she comes. I hope you all have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m., episode 686 of the Immigration Answer Show. Thanks, everybody.
I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of invasion.